photogenic service.
And I ended up selling telecommunication equipment. Funnily enough, when I started working at the Ministry of Commerce, I was in information technology policy, so that was a nice touch.
He says he didn't consider restarting his former business.
I'd actually sold the company, and one of the conditions of selling the company was that I didn't start up an opposition company within 5 years.
But it was a different story when it came to thinking about mime as a dramatic method. Is that the case?
Yeah, well, it can include mime. Some deaf people do perform exclusively with mime, yes, for sure. But not so much when it comes to the actual theatre of the deaf. It's a bit different.
So the theatre of the deaf is where you are using the deaf language combined with the visual scenes that are being displayed in front of audiences.
That's correct. That's quite right. Now, when the audience, perhaps if there's some other theatre production, or opera, or just any general theatre production, comedy or whatever, they're going to use English language, of course. But when they're watching a deaf theatre performance, it's going to include mime. It's going to include abstract concepts, and they're so abstract that you'd need to use language to explain them. So it can be very interesting to watch.
What about a non-deaf audience, or predominantly non-deaf audience, a hearing audience? How do you interpret the language aspect of the drama to them?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's quite difficult, actually. When we are doing productions for the Deaf and Theatre Company, we actually have a voiceover for the hearing audience.
Do you always do that?
No, not always. That was just for that particular theatre performance. The other performances I've been in before, we used an actual interpreter, and they would actually interpret the entire show. Obviously, the interpreter would have access to the script prior to the performance taking place, but they wouldn't just be sitting in front of a microphone and reading it out. They'd actually be looking at the language as it was performed on stage and doing the interpretation live. Another method of that particular effect is having no interpreters or no voiceover at all. Personally, I prefer that method because it really makes the audience sort of think more. They've got to use their eyes a lot more and try to figure out what's going on. And it's usually towards the end that they actually begin to pull the pieces of the story together themselves.
In that respect, are you getting back at people who don't lobby and make sure that there are subtitles on television programs and films?
Well, I'm not sure it's like getting back at them or anything like that, but it's just to give the audience an idea that communication is really important. I mean, we need to communicate with each other. We need a language capable of expressing how we feel, whatever culture we come from. And we use that language, we use communication every single day. It's a vital aspect of all our lives. So the hearing audience are going to see that even during this performance, language and communication is vital. So that's one key element of our particular theatre style. It shows that New Zealand's language is very expressive, it's very beautiful, and it really sort of accentuates the performance as a whole.
That, I guess, leads to perhaps a more serious aspect of my question, because I guess there was a certain element of tongue-in-cheek when I put it to you in that way, but certainly it must be quite educative for hearing audiences to be in a situation which deaf people are in most of the time when it comes to hearing entertainment.
That's quite right, yes, indeed. Exactly.
form of theatre and the specific group defined theatre?
Well, I'll give you some background to my own career for a start. I've been doing theatre performances for 5 or 6 years. I originally did a show called A Spectacle of One, and that particular performance was at the Watershed, based here in Auckland. There were 2 deaf actors involved in that performance and 4 hearing actors, and it was quite a, it was a very professional performance. At that time, I really became interested in drama and theatre and wanted to build on that initial experience. And we established a defined theatre company at that time. We had an English gentleman, a director, who worked with deaf actors in the UK. We imported him over to New Zealand. And myself and this director, we sort of sought other actors around Auckland and brought this company together. And that was essentially how we established a Defined Theatre Company. It was quite hard work to start with, but it's really picked up and it's going very well indeed.
As someone who is keen on drama and keen on being involved in acting, how important was it for you to set up and develop a deaf drama group? Or how tempted were you to look at getting involved in mainstream non-deaf drama?
Well, it perhaps depends exactly what you're talking about. If you're talking about deaf actors within the mainstream theatre environment, then it would depend entirely on the story itself. Personally, I'm quite happy to have mainstream hearing actors involved in a deaf theatre production, because in that situation, obviously there are going to be communication barriers to start with between the deaf and hearing actors, but it makes those hearing actors, if they're going to sign or speak or whatever, if they're actually forced to perhaps act using sign language during the production, then it's really going to have a lot of impact on their profession as well. But also we find that deaf actors themselves have natural talent, it seems, because it's part of their language for a start. That they're very expressive, they're very use very clear gestures to get their point across.
Is there a reality to participating in mainstream drama that really, unless you're, if you like, typecast in a deaf role, there's a very severe limitation on what you can be doing in mainstream drama, which makes being involved in deaf drama a more likely outcome?
The Defined Theatre Company, we've encountered a lot of deaf audience members who have perhaps seen our productions for the first time and have...
Really? It's excellent.
You'd what? Hello. Father.
Are you hungry, Father?
Tis I, mother, dear.
Is that on?
Yeah, of course.
No, it's half off, Nicola.
This is a blinking great battery.
I thought you didn't like it.
Well, it's good for, it's bulky, but it lasts forever. It's got huge hours in it, which is amazing. But the other ones had such a short life in them. Such a pain.
With a girl. Oh, that's on the Asian peg.
Yeah, don't say that.
Not the other one.
me too. Is it? I knew this, I was wanting to encourage you to do something silly.
Go away. Want some ice cream? Go away. You're an idiot.
You can. Briefly.
I want you to play.
I want to be safely tucked away in bed by almost by 11. What's this? Country beer.
Hello.
Is it the one your dad's been playing?
No,
Hello.
I don't know.
No.
Dad says it's crap.
Now that fucking game, it's hopeless. It's just like, you want to play it, Dana? It's just like that other one you got on PlayStation.
What do you want for Christmas?
Nothing. I don't know.
La 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 la.
I don't really care. Thank you. I'd do skate and boat
Get me some
and house.
tea, Nicky. Oh yeah?
No.
Why not?
Cog.
You don't like me, do you?
No. I do though.
Play the fighting game, Dana.
No, it's not my cup of tea.
I just
You
I
like
don't
shoot-
like
you
it.
like the
I like
shoot one.
shoot me one better.
stinky shit.
Oh, you're on the video camera saying that.
Sorry.
This is Candy Grandma.
You're probably doing it on purpose.
Go on in. You've got
What's the time?
7 minutes. Love you.
Only two.
Oh, you set at a specific time as to when it's time to stop this, pull out or make sure we have stopped this. But I think the cops, I'm from a different country, and I think the cops here are a bit too soft, really.
You think so? South Africa is tougher, right?
Oh, yeah, they are. You've got these people that are racing and what have you, and
So this is like pub city, man. There's more pubs here than anything. No, just pubs, man.
Headlines, and the bit of music mix continues with Harry Mills.
some info. Tell me.
No, who chefs from 4 o'clock tomorrow to 12 o'clock Sunday? That's why I'm freaking out. Okay. Sharon's going in. Is Sharon busy during the Saturday day, do you know? Fuck it, what time? Till 6. Oh dear, we're in a real predicament, aren't we? I mean, this should have let you know earlier. I'm a bit disappointed that it's 9 o'clock on Thursday night and I'm having to, deal with this. Well, yeah, so are you, obviously. Would you mind? Yeah, she's lovely. She's a real sweetie. Oh, and she's Drew Carey's mum in his sitcom.
Who is?
Jenny Piccolo. How bizarre.
The mussy pup.
Hey?
Oh, nearly there. Looking good. Having a baby, see?
hey?
Okay.
What we should do is actually stick a tears out and cut off all that dead stuff.
Yeah, Mum, you give you a special one.
More than no doubt if you can find. We should wash on that. Tuesday. My asparagus and sweet corn quiche.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh, don't keep looking up your skirt. Peter, is this pasta? What is
Yes,
it?
yes, it
It's
is.
pasta, is it?
Yes, Ben.
Still sealed up, I think, isn't it? We got.
Oh, sweet.
Well, it might be sealed, but I don't know if you can use it or not.
No, chuck it away. Chuck it down the gurgler if you don't want it.
Pardon?
Chuck it down the gurgler.
Down the gurgler.
She just had her eye on the corner of the bench.
Oh, sweetheart. She's been doing that a lot lately. You're not watching. If the drawers open, she'll break her head 9 times out of 10.
Is it okay if I go in your room and video out the window?
She must.